The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences only, so don't tell your parents! Listener discretion is advised.
No, Adam, see, what happens is we do like an hour worth of like shooting the shit so that I can isolate like 15 seconds of it for a cold open, and then we do the show.
Oh, you mean like right now?
Yeah. In fact,
Yeah.
this is the cold open. This is the cold open right here. Maybe.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I gotta mine the gold.
Yeah.
Find the one perfect nugget.
You're gonna fucking find it and you're gonna be like, there's gold in them podcasts.
You're listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast, your weekly home for animation reviews and discussions.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ink and Paint Club podcast for this week. My name is JD, and joining me is Matt.
Hello.
And Adam is also here.
I'm back somehow.
Because we willed it to be.
Yeah. We got Adam
And
back.
despite my willingness, Kyle is not here because he didn't want to, I guess.
Yeah, he didn't have any interest in the Infinity Train, which is fine.
And Kyle, being one of the founding members of this show, has that ability to just peace out when he feels like it, I guess.
Yeah, just like you.
Shut up.
Great comeback.
Anyway. So this week we are going to be talking about Infinity Train book season 3, whatever they're calling it, which dropped on HBO Max. Was it last week?
It was the last few weeks. They did it in the batches. They did
Oh, that's right.
They did the first 5 episodes, then they did 3 more episodes, and then they did the last 2.
I forgot. HBO
on
Max
Friday.
is a normal streaming service that drops everything at once, like a normal person.
Well, I mean, they dropped all Looney Tunes. Well, not all of Looney Tunes, but they dropped.
I know. I'm just
don't know.
giving them shit.
I think it just depends on like what the content is. I feel like maybe for other shows in the future they could, but honestly, I'm not against them doing it in big batches like that. If it were like a thing where they released only 1 episode like per week, that would be a little bit more.
Fuck a bunch of that.
That would be a little bit more annoying. But honestly, doing the 5, then the 3, then the 2, that's fine.
And the 1.
I think me and Adam were actually having this discussion off recording last week, but that definitely does leave a bit more room for discussion about the episodes and everything.
Discussion.
Yeah, I definitely think it works for something like Infinity Train more because, like, you give the audience who's watching time to, like, craft their theories, to talk about what just happened, rewatch, get some more context clues, really, like, let it sink all in, as opposed to, like, what was it, Close Enough. They dropped all that at once.
Yeah.
They do it for some shows.
Yeah, because like for Close Enough, that's not a show that really hinges on like a plot. That's more like
continuity.
Yeah, it's just more like a really fun show, and they can just upload all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For something like Infinity Train, where the plot's like actually kind of involved and stuff, I can definitely see why they'd want to leave like some cliffhangers. That way you can ruminate on it and kind of imagine what's going to come next. I didn't. JD, I know you and I kind of binged it once it was all out, but Adam, did you watch it while it was getting all uploaded?
I did. I watched it every Thursday night when they uploaded.
Okay. Yeah, because like I did keep note of like what batches of episodes got released, and I was just kind of thinking like if I had to wait like a week between the episodes, like what I would be thinking about as far as like like when I hit like the end of episode 5 and then it left off where it was, I kind of gave myself a minute to think about what I'd seen so far before I started at the 6, 7, and 8. And then like I did the same thing once I hit the end of episode 8, then I did episode 9 and 10, just to kind of give myself an idea of like what somebody who was following it at all at the time would have done.
Right.
And the only reason why I did like that is just because I hadn't used my free trial of HBO Max yet, and I wanted to wait until it was all out so that I could use it there, because I definitely wanted to support the release of Infinity Train because we don't really know. Just like with Glitch Text last week, when we were discussing it, we don't know what the future Infinity Train holds. We don't know if they're going to be able to continue going, or because I think they were talking about how they're kind of relying on the reception to season 3 and kind of the viewing numbers on the show in general on HBO
Mhm.
Max to see if they want to continue going with it, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of hoping they do because I feel like
Especially after this season, I really
Yeah,
do
'cause-
want them to fucking continue. We should definitely go up front and say that there are absolutely going to be spoilers in this episode. So if you haven't
hella
seen,
spoilers.
if you have not seen season 3 yet, do not listen to this. Stop and go watch it. And if you haven't seen the other first 2 seasons, then definitely go check those out as well. And then go watch our podcast that we did on those 2 seasons, and then watch the 3rd season, and then listen to this episode in that order.
Matt, I'm just gonna make you our marketing manager because you do a way better job of selling this show than I do. Because I'm real down on this show all the time. But yeah, I definitely think I would like there to be a season 4, mostly because of just how this season ended, which we'll get to it at some point. So I've always thought that
Well, actually, sorry. Before we get like any further into it, we did have our friend Richie on for that last episode, and so we're having Adam with us now. Adam, what did you think about the first 2 seasons of Infinity Train?
I enjoyed them when they first released. I haven't gone back to rewatch, but I definitely want to after book 3 was all said and done. I want to go back and see, obviously you've already had people like coming out and posting things that like they really had this pretty much planned out. But I enjoyed both books 1 and 2. I think I enjoyed book 2 a bit more than book 1, but when it comes to book 3, as we'll get into, I honestly think this is where the show starts becoming its own thing, where it starts making its own trail.
Sure. Yeah, I felt because I went back and re-listened to the episode that we did on the first 2 seasons, and yeah, I was definitely really high. I mean, I really enjoyed the first season, but I did enjoy the second season more. I just really dug all the stuff with the like the Chrome police and everything like that. And just like them hunting after Mirror Tulip and everything. But yeah, I'm not really certain if I enjoyed season 3 the most yet, but I did really enjoy it. Like I feel like maybe after I rewatched through all the episodes, I might come to the conclusion that I enjoy it more. There was a lot of stuff in here that was definitely really cool.
Yeah. I could probably say that I think I like last season more than this season. I definitely think like I definitely think they stepped up their game a little more in this season, probably because it's on HBO Max and not on Cartoon Network proper. They could probably do a little more.
So you know what? That was actually something that me and Adam were discussing before he showed up too. Owen Dennis, the creator, actually let people know that Infinity Train from the get-go was actually created with the intention of it all being on HBO Max. So it was all planned to just originally be an HBO Max original, and then because of delays in getting the streaming service up, because what was it, Adam? It was
the AT&T Time Warner merger.
Right. So that kind of set things off for like a while. And so they just decided to air the first 2 seasons on Cartoon Network.
Interesting.
And then since HBO Max is now up, they got the 3rd season up on theirs. It's an HBO Max original. So you got to subscribe to the service to watch it.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was always mentioning how he wanted it to be more of a young adult and teen show than and sort of an all ages thing, and it definitely gets that way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it definitely is.
Oh my god, it does.
It really starts flexing its muscles.
But what I was saying earlier is that I think I liked the second season better because I was more engaged with those characters. Like I think Grace and Simon and Hazel and Tuba, I think they're, good characters. And I like that the story that plays out over this season, I was just more invested in like Mirror Tulip and what's his face and the deer from
Alan
last
Dracula.
Yeah, Alan Dracula. He's the
dude.
best.
Yeah.
So I was just a little more invested in their story than this. I don't know, because like with this, I mean, this season starts off. So last season, we were introduced to this group called the Apex, and they basically like live in one of the cars that is basically a shopping mall. But it's just full of all of these other kids that have been picked up by the train over time, and they've been basically told that like, hey, you're actually supposed to make your number go up, not make it go down. So they're like all stuck on the train. Um,
And it's not that they're being intentionally malicious about it. I think they legitimately believed that making your number go up was the purpose of the train.
right. And that, because of like the what they believe in, like the intent of the train is, but like this season starts off and the season basically focuses on the leaders of that mall kid group,
Grace
and
and Simon.
with Grace and Simon as the leaders. But it basically just starts off with them just like raiding this other car and just beating and murdering all the people in it. And I'm like,
Well, all the denizens.
but it's because like they don't think that like, oh, they're not really real, they're not alive, they don't
They're
have like,
they're nulls, as they
yeah,
call them.
yeah, they're nothing. So it's like it's okay to just like rampage and murder everything. And like I for people who have watched the first two seasons, we know that's not true.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously all these characters have feelings and personalities and stuff. So I get like the shock value of watching these kids just beat the shit out of all these characters is supposed to have. It just kind of threw me off, the first time it happened.
right.
But yeah, but I mean, it was nice to see kind of like Grace and Simon get separated from the rest of their group, and basically the entire season is them trying to get back to them. And I do like kind of their growth over the season. I definitely enjoyed Grace and Hazel's relationship. I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, and kind of fucking just Simon completely losing the plot over the fucking season.
Look, I'm not. Simon is giving me some weird like men's right incel vibes.
Okay, yeah, I kind of had similar thoughts. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Man.
like on the one hand, I get why he's upset because he's like, he was abandoned by his denizen friend when he first got on the train,
Which we find out is the cat who we've seen in the previous two seasons.
Yeah. So he also obviously he's very insecure and has trust issues. So when Grace lies to him, it's kind of like his breaking point. So I can see why his descent into madness happens. Just the way he goes about it irks me a little bit.
Well, I mean, and I think that makes him a really good sort of antagonist for this season as well.
Yeah.
I mean, like, especially once we start hitting like the later half of those episodes, he does some really intense, gummy shit.
Dude, his entire thing where he like starts, he puts the little ball robots on Grace's head and gets the film strip out. Like everything after that is like some of the scummiest shit I've seen a character do.
Well, shit. I mean, even before that, when he fucking spoilers kills Tuba.
He does kill Tuba. And what's weird, because Melanie and I were watching this today, and we were like, by the end of it, I'm like, wait a second, Tuba never came back. We were convinced that Tuba was gonna show up like somewhere towards the end, like, surprise, Tuba's not dead. It's like, no, Tuba's dead.
Yeah.
Like they just killed Tuba off like halfway through the season, and like, nope, she's dead.
Yeah.
She gone.
She gone. She got over by the train, and yeah, that's just That's just how it be.
That's just how it is on this bitch of a train.
That sometimes.
I think the best way I've seen someone mention Simon is that I think he's an incredibly well-written character, probably the best-written antagonist they have so far, because there's a lot of stuff where you can see his traumas coming from, and yet at the same time, like, the fact that a lot of what this season is about is mostly like acceptance, like taking responsibility, because honestly, like, by the end of it, Grace realizes that none of the things that have happened would have happened if not for her. She was the one that told Simon she was the one that basically created the Apex and led Simon on the route that he did. She's inadvertently responsible for the death of Tuba and for like all this other stuff that happens.
Yeah. So yeah, I fully understand like where Grace and Simon are coming from for like the bad things they do because of their background. But something I had like constantly reminding myself this season to like really make sure I understand their rationale for things is that unlike the protagonist from the last two seasons, whereas Tulip was like a teenager who hopped in, hopped off. Mirror Tulip kind of has like the similar kind of world experience age wise. Grace and Simon are characters who have been on here for, I'm guessing, probably about 10 years at this point.
Yeah,
maybe a little less.
Yeah,
so it's like you're following these characters who are because they basically had to grow up on their own or with these other kids, so they don't have any kind of like real world structure that maybe like Tulip had. So it's kind of why I feel like Simon's breakdown is like a little more acceptable, because it's like he's a very stunted person because he spent an entire childhood, his developmental years on this train, and now he's like either right at adulthood or really getting close to it, and like this is mostly all he knows in the world. So I understand it, I just don't fully agree with it.
Well, yeah, and I don't think you're really supposed to agree with it either, but it's definitely great to see a villain that has you can kind of relate to their situation, or you can feel for them, but you can still hate them for the things that they've done. Like the best villains out there are ones that are not that have more dimensions to themselves besides playing the villain.
Right.
And even besides because we get a lot of flashbacks and stuff, like we see like when Simon, because like they say like Simon was 10 when he entered the train, and then we can see Simon and Grace are like if they're not young adults or like really close, but they've been on the train for almost as long as they weren't on the train at this point. And then just to kind of see their growth from there, because like there's the one episode where you do see like the tape from Grace's head, and it's showing like their flashbacks and everything, and kind of how the Apex was growing and kind of how they became the people they are now.
Yeah.
And no, that was definitely, because I mean, like you said, with the previous two seasons, we do see like flashbacks like with Tulip and everything, but with Mirror Tulip, it was more like Mirror Tulip basically essentially came to be in an episode of season 1, and then season 2 was just like her whole, that was like, she didn't really have much of a past to reflect on. So I think that's a lot of the reason why season 2 like worked really well too, is because it didn't really need to play a lot into backstory or anything. It was just more like it was just more like a on the run type story, and like we're already familiar with why it is, because it's like a very just a very arbitrary, like the reflection people are supposed to stay in the mirror type of thing. So
and something about this show that I'm really enjoying is the fact that because the show is essentially an anthology, even though it does have somewhat of a running plot, each season has a new protagonist. But I like that so far, each new protagonist for the new season is a character that appeared in an episode in the previous season.
Yeah.
So I like that you get a glimpse of this character, and then you get to see them like more fully fleshed out the next season as they become the main focus. So it makes me wonder, like watching this, like, okay, if there is a season 4, then like who it's like, because obviously Grace is still on the train. Is like, are they going to continue her story, or is it going to be someone else?
Yeah, definitely
that-
had those same thoughts too. Because yeah, I mean, yeah, at the end of the first season, Tulip gets on the train, gets off the train. Second season, Mirror Tulip manifests on the train and then is able to leave the train. And then this third season, yeah, Grace has been on the train longer than we know. And then by the end of it, isn't actually off the train yet, but is very close. Like her number is down to the lowest that's like ever been. And so very interesting to see like where they'll go from here, because there's definitely like there's a number of different ways that they can go about doing it. They can either kind of continue from here and see like how, I know we're kind of getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but yeah, just to see how they kind of turn the Apex around, or they might even follow Amelia and Hazel, because they kind of go off and do their own thing.
That's kind of where I'm thinking it would go, is just to follow those. Which that was also kind of an interesting thing of bringing back Amelia, who, if I remember correctly, in any of season 2.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, she was like revealed to basically be the antagonist of season 1. She's gone for a season, and now she's back, and you kind of see what she's been up to.
Yeah, Amelia was not in season 2. What you guys are saying, though, it's interesting you bring up who book 4 could focus on, because technically Grace and Simon were also hinted at the end of the first season. When Tulip gets to like the front of the train car, there's like a brief moment where it's flashing through like
Hey, how about that? Yeah,
and they both pop up. But I forgot who this was. Somebody brought up the idea that every 7th episode introduces the character that's going to be in the next season, because in season 1, episode 7, I think that was the mirror card with Lake. And in book 2,
it was the Apex.
Was the Apex.
What was the 7th episode of this one again?
Amelia.
Oh shit! Right. Okay, that wasn't where Amelia well, technically Amelia shows up at the very end of episode 6, but if you want to get technical about it,
yeah, she gets the main focus in 7. That's an interesting theory. I could definitely see them focusing on her in the next season, and kind of like her journey. So obviously she's trying to like make amends for like all the shit she's done.
Yeah, and we've already seen like a lot of her backstory already, so yeah, they could really just sort of focus on kind of her. Yeah, because I mean, she has the biggest number on the train out of anyone, including Simon and Grace, who already had pretty sizable numbers. Well, except for Simon by the end of.
I was actually kind of I was making a joke like literally 2 minutes before it happened of like, what if Simon just like eventually like the numbers overcome his face? Does he go like be blinded by numbers? He doesn't, but it was just weird.
Something else happens.
He just balls and gets vaporized by a cockroach.
Yeah, basically. You know what? Let's come back to that. We haven't actually even touched really on Hazel at all.
Yeah, I want to definitely bring up Hazel, because I think
Hazel is tiny and adorable, and I love her. I can only hope I only hope I have a child someday that is bright and cheerful as her.
And turns into a turtle when she gets emotionally distressed.
I mean, everyone's got their problems. And has a giant gorilla friend with 2 tubas strapped to their arms.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, the stuff with Hazel is definitely interesting, because, for a long time there, we see that she has a number, but it doesn't glow like everyone else's.
It's basically just written on her hand.
Yeah.
Like a marker.
And then, yeah, like we discovered later, like after all of her journeys, like, with Tuba and Grace and Simon, we do discover that she is actually a denizen of the train. She's not she's not able to leave, or actually, it's more she's a genetic experiment from Amelia.
Yeah, because she was doing all these experiments to like try to bring back her boyfriend or husband or whatever he was.
Beyonce, I think.
Yeah, and I guess she was just one of the attempts, I guess.
Which somebody brought up, like she does actually use like some British terms in her speak. Like I think she's talking about tea, like in an earlier episode.
So there was a lot of like I kind of guessed that something similar. Like, okay, she's got to be like, because once Amelia showed up, it kind of clicked for me about Hazel. Is like, okay, she's like some kind of like incarnation of her dead boyfriend, because just like some of the weird stuff she says. Like she just knows things where like Amelia's like, I make bad eggs, but he's like, oh well, you make the most amazing pancakes. She's like, how do you even know that? She's like, I just do.
Oh shit, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, she just says a lot of these things that like would not come from a little girl, but like would come from a middle-aged man.
Like how when she said you would die until you're dead.
Yeah, something like that. But there's just a lot of things that she like just seems to know that a little 6-year-old should not. But as soon as like Amelia shows up and she's like, I know that you make amazing pancakes, I'm like, oh, she's probably some like weird clone or some kind of like reincarnation of her boyfriend or something, because he's got like, she has like some of his knowledge in her brain.
Yeah, weird. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I actually took a couple of notes before we started recording, and it was all about all these connections. So the main thing that people are talking about is they think that somehow when Amelia was experimenting, trying to recreate Ulrich, she tried using her own memory tape of the memories of her and Ulrich, and it's sort of like a fusion of both her and Ulrich's memories.
So inadvertently is like their child.
Yeah, because like you said, she says you make the best pancakes. If you go back to book 1 in the past car, there's a brief section where Tulip's flipping through all of her memories, and you see them making pancakes together.
Oh.
But also a couple of other bombshells that I was looking at while researching while watching a video researching. In the ballroom car, Hazel's earliest memories are taking dance lessons. There's also a memory of both Amelia and Ulrich dancing in a ballroom.
Oh wow!
So, keep going.
Okay, so let me pull up my notes again. So it was those two, but also when episode 6, when they have the funeral for Tuba, when Hazel's trying
Oh
to
my god, that funeral was so fucking sad. I'm sorry, I had to interrupt, but that funeral was really fucking sad. I actually legit like teared up during it.
It's great. I love the lullaby they made. But
yeah,
when she's trying to argue with Simon, she says it would be good for her to go to a funeral. And of course, the big thing, again, in episode 9, the past car, you find out that Amelia did not go to Ulrich's funeral.
Right, yeah, because she kind of just shut herself in.
Mm-hmm. So, like, there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Shit.
So there, I want to say that I had a weird Hazel theory like early on in the season. That started at the debutante ball car. Because they're like in like the chandelier man like takes them into the back room, like, okay, we'll get dressed, learn the dance, all that kind of shit. And like Grace is like trying to like ask Hazel about like, you know, dancing and like asking her about her parents and stuff. And like
she doesn't know.
And Hazel like doesn't know. She's like, I don't know any of this, and so she kind of starts freaking out about it. So my stupid really theory involves like weird time shenanigans. I thought for very briefly that Hazel was like Simon and Grace's kid from like some weird future car or something. And I'm basing this really only because on looks, because it's really just because she's got dark skin and blonde hair. And I don't remember what Ulrich and Amelia look like younger, so maybe it's a fusion of them. But it just like seemed to me at the time that like, oh, what if like there's a weird future car and it like has like Simon and Grace's future kid? Because like, I need to ask a really weird question here, guys. Do you think they fucked yet? I don't know. They're real handsy, and they've been together for a long time through puberty. I gotta imagine they fucked at least once.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I'm gonna shoot that one down for you.
I know it's technically still a kid show, but like,
I mean, I think Owen Dennis is taking a bit of a break from social media. I'm sure if you shot on that question, he might have an answer for you.
I'll message him later and be like, "Did they fuck?" Oh, I need to know.
We'd love to have you on.
Yeah, man. If you're listening to this, our door's always open.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, JD, like that wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility. I mean, fucking Mirror Tulip just like showed up out of nowhere, and like she was like it's shown that people can just sort of come into being. And I mean, fucking like, yeah, Mirror Tulip existed as a reflection of Tulip, so I could honestly see fucking Hazel existing as like the byproduct of one of the train cars, like emulating a different timeline in Amelia's like I could absolutely see that being
like the answer I got about what Hazel is, I'm perfectly fine with, and like, okay, cool, that makes sense. That was just a weird theory I entertained for a while.
Well, and that's the thing that's really fun about the show is that the rules of this this train and everything about it is like there's definitely like a lot of different possibilities and outcomes that can result from just like even the most mundane actions and stuff. So it's really fun to theorize. Like and that's the thing. That's why it's great to have a bit of the time between the uploads of the episodes. I'm sure like a lot of people were theorizing like stuff exactly like that.
And to kind of that point, I do want to like commend the show for deciding to make new protagonists each season.
It's definitely refreshing.
It's refreshing in the sense because of the premise of the show. They're on a train that has infinite cars, and in each car is basically a new world. And I think that had they just like, okay, no, it's just every season is just Tulip working her way through cars and just like endlessly. I feel like that would kind of get boring doing that with the same character every season.
Yeah,
it would get repetitive. But I like that each season it's still characters going through all these cars, and you're getting to see all these like fantastical worlds, and like a lot of them are like really creative, like stuff you just wouldn't think about.
Like the Hey Ho Whoa car. Where it's just a bunch of rocks falling from the ceiling going, hey, ho, and whoa.
So by the end of the show, I do want to ask what your guys' favorite car of the season was. I just want to put out right now that the Hey Ho Rocks is my favorite just because it's funny.
It's really fun.
But I like that each season has these characters going through all these cars, but it's able to wrap up their story more or less, at least for this season, and then move on to somebody else this weird train. So I just like that the basic premise of the show is still the same, but by introducing new characters every season,
the possibilities are infinite.
Yes, thank you, Matt. that is more or less what I was getting at.
Yeah, you get to see like, you go with different characters every season. They are different people entirely, and they react to things differently, and they're paired up with other characters that experience the train car in different ways from previous characters that we've seen. So yeah, there's just literally the possibilities are just completely like endless. Like you could and that's why I definitely want to see. I definitely hope this show endures and it gets more, because there's just so, and especially because of like the sort of overarching plot that we've experienced so far, and like I would like to see that continue.
Another thing I want to give credit to this show for is I really dig the music for this.
Oh yeah, no fucking. We talked about that in the last episode. It's by Chrome Canyon. They do some really good work.
Yeah. Like it's never really occurred to me in the last 2 seasons, but it definitely really really stood out to me this season. It's just like this weird, like kind of creepy 80s synth vaporwave kind of music. And I dig it. It's not like like a lot of shows would use that kind of style of music, so I'm down for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mentioned there, like, I think their intention was to emulate like a 80s like John Carpenter-esque movie, and they definitely.
It's very John Carpenter-esque.
Yeah, no, they definitely. It's very good.
Yeah,
Especially just like, I mean, the main theme alone, or the ending theme, which they changed for this season. I believe the second season's ending theme was the same as the first season, if I remember right. But yeah, I really enjoyed that theme, and then it got changed up in this one. I do enjoy what's here too, but I had that theme on my my iPhone for a long time. I do listen to it on occasion, so it was kind of interesting that they would change that up. Which honestly they should, because when you're changing up everything else about the show each season, you know.
Yeah.
I really wish that the book 1 soundtrack on digital sold more, because like I absolutely agree with you guys. I love all of book 3's scores. Like everything is just like it just perfectly syncs up.
Yeah, totally.
I just love how synthy it is.
I feel like they will release the ones for the other books eventually too. I mean, they're only just now getting around to releasing the scores for all the seasons of Steven Universe. Like we just got season 4 like over the weekend. They still got like 5 and future to go through, so I'm sure we'll get the ones for the other seasons as well. Yeah. And fucking put out this Cartoon Network. I know you're listening. Put out the soundtrack to OKKO. There's some really good shit in there.
Legit, man. I think you can get a lot of it like on the composer's like SoundCloud, but
not all of it.
Not all of it. So yeah, I definitely like, and it takes almost nothing for them to do that.
Especially because they're just releasing it digitally. Like just put it on there, or like fucking put it on YouTube or put it on SoundCloud. Just put it somewhere.
Yeah,
do it for your boy.
I really do hope that happens, because last thing I know, I think I remember seeing a tweet by Owen Dennis where someone's like, "Hey, you guys going to release the book to soundtrack?" And I think he responded, "We would love to, but Cartoon Network was not happy with how the first one didn't sell." So hopefully.
But like it doesn't matter. Like does it cost them anything to put it up on iTunes? Like do they got to pay a fee for it?
Well, I'm sure there's like hosting fees and that sort of thing. Speaking as somebody who's I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I have been part of bands that do have their music on streaming services, and I know that you have to, at least the way that we do it, we had to go through a partner, and then we paid them, and then they, get the share from streaming and stuff. So I know there's definitely processes that you have to go through to get stuff on those services, and it's probably still cost them money. But still, just do it anyway. Like, do it for the fans.
Do it.
And if it's gonna cost you anything, then just fucking put it out for free.
Yeah, man, just put it up on like Bandcamp, or like just give us like a Google Drive link. We can just download.
Just do a fucking pay what you want type thing. There's always people that pay more.
That's what I'm saying. Put it on Bandcamp, man. People like that's pay what you want shit right there.
Yeah.
Do that.
So as far as the content of the actual season, I think I do want to go back and talk about the funeral, just for a little bit.
Let's do it.
Yeah, like I said, I did get emotional during that scene. It was just really fucking sad. Like I think the last time I got that emotional over like a Cartoon Network show was probably Steven Universe, which is not surprising, but not even in the same type of way. Like this is more like it was just really fucking sad. Like, and it's always sad to see like little kids eulogizing like their parents, that sort of thing. I mean, kind of, your parent XP, that's a giant gorilla. But just to see like, like they had the rock that Tuba picked up like from the one train car that like lights up when you touch it, and like they went up in the tree and fucking had Grace say a few words, and fucking like when she sang the song that they sang together, and it was just like fucking tugged at the heartstrings, man.
Yeah. It was pretty sad. Poor Tuba.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like I don't know. I feel like we didn't get to see. I thought Tuba was like a fun character, and we do get like the little hints dropped about Tuba throughout the season, just like and that was that was the thing too. Because Tuba talks about like I had a family, I had a daughter, that sort of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I was just thinking. I was thinking back to like I think Owen Dennis did like a AMA or something on Reddit, or like was answering questions on Twitter or something, and there were somebody had asked about if passengers in the train could become denizens, if they could become nulls and stuff. And I think his only response to that was, "That's a very good question. Thank you for the question."
That's one of my favorite things. If you ask him a question that you get like too close to the truth, he just says, "That's a great question. Thank you for your question."
Well, my favorite response that he ever had to a question was, I think it was in. I can't remember if it was in season 1 or season 2, but somebody asked like, "Oh, did this character so and so did they like did they make it out okay? Because they some of this stuff happened, blah blah blah." And he was just like, no, that dude's dead." Like, it more or less was his response to that.
Well, I appreciate his honesty.
Yeah,
That was the guy that Lake threw out of the car, right?
right. That's what it was. Yeah,
He didn't even have a number.
he didn't even have a number.
Nah, bro, he did.
He's dead, or he fucking turned into a gome, or he got eaten by a gome. Speaking of being fucking eaten by a gome,
Is that is that the cockroaches?
those are the those are the flying
Okay, I
cockroaches.
forgot what their name was.
They're called gomes. And boy, does Simon get it.
Bruh, I gotta say, that was like one of the most horrifying yet oddly satisfying things I've ever seen in a cartoon. Just to watch this fucking black cockroach dog suck out this man's soul and watch him disintegrate.
Disintegrate straight up, see his fucking skull skeleton, and then the fucking gome blows up. Like, holy shit. And I think that was something that we hadn't seen before, because I think in the previous 2 seasons we do see a gome try to feed on Tulip, and like we see the process of it, and like it happens pretty slowly to Tulip. But it happens really fucking quick to Simon, and I think
it's like 5 seconds and he's gone.
I think people were saying that the higher your number, the more susceptible you are to that. And fucking considering where he was right as that happened, I'm willing to believe it.
Yeah, probably. But I was just confused at why it exploded after it ate him.
It's the mystery of of this universe, man, and we still don't know exactly like what they are, or like. Yeah, it fucking exploded, but like, what exactly did it suck out of Simon? Was it his soul? Like,
I assumed it was his soul, his life energy, or whatever.
Yeah, but like, why did he fucking disintegrate then? That's just, I'm still just left wondering, like, how the hell does any of this work, or like, what actually happens? Because I'm not sure if the gome even died. I knew it blew up, but like, I don't know. Maybe because we see that Atticus turns into a gome like in a previous episode. Maybe if the gomes absorb like fucking life force of somebody else, maybe they like respawn in a different part of the train as their original self or something. I don't know, man. There's like just some shit that happens that like, yeah, this is the reason why fucking Cartoon Network or HBO Max, whoever I gotta yell at to fucking get more seasons of the show, like, keep it going, because there's still so many mysteries about this stuff that I need to see discovered. You don't have to be like outright about it, but like, lead up to them, and like, it's just, yeah, I haven't been like this invested in a cartoon like this since fucking Steven Universe.
I just got a kick out of like the gome like sucks at his soul, leans back, screams, and then explodes.
Yeah.
So I just kind of got a good laugh out of it, even though it's supposed to be like this really like kind of terrifying moment.
It was a bit of a tonal whiplash for me too, because I was fucking really shocked that we saw that in the fucking like Cartoon Network cartoon, and then when it fucking like blows up, and then like, that was
like watching, like I audibly said, "Oh shit," like when Simon just like fucking evaporates. That was fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole final scene where like Simon's about to fall off because of his malfunctioning boots, and then Grace saves him. And then
Yeah.
And he fucking
have
kicks.
this
Oh,
they have this one silent moment, and then Simon just kicks her the fuck off the train.
Yeah, he
Like,
does.
I almost screamed right there. I was not expecting that.
Nah,
Speak-
and
so-
I'm glad that they like went with a death scene for that. I feel like if they just thrown him off, I feel like that would have cheapened it. Like he deserved what he got.
I mean, to
get
be
what you
fair,
fucking deserve.
I'd get pretty bad indigestion if I consumed someone that rotten.
Probably. Yeah.
I did want to ask if either of you familiar with? Well, I know JD. I think you've played a little bit of it. I'm not sure about you, Adam, but like, how familiar are you guys with Metal Gear Solid, specifically the first one?
I've
Oh.
played up until the sniper lady,
Oh, Sniper Wolf. Okay,
and then
And then
my memory card got corrupted.
that's what it was. I thought I remembered you saying that on Playing with Power.
Yeah.
So, Adam, how about you?
Andrew just recently played through the first Metal Gear Solid about a month ago, so I've got a pretty
Recent.
recent memory. It's a little hazy because mostly they'd be playing when I came back from work, but like
Okay.
I remember the gist of it.
Okay, so I wanted to ask if either of you well, I guess you've played enough of the first one, JD. You might potentially too, but did either of
Right.
you guys get the fucking vibe like on that last episode, like when we see Simon's like taking over the Apex and stuff? Did you get like Liquid Snake vibes from him?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh,
Um,
wait. With him, like his slick back hair and his coat and shit.
Yeah, and just
Yeah, I couldn't place what it was. And like, he's looking like some character that I've seen before.
yeah. So and basically
So
that whole
at least I got that much.
yeah, that whole last scene gave me fucking just Metal Gear vibes because just going off of what I can remember immediately, just going off of how he looked, how he acted, the fact that he was in command of a child army, which was more related to like Metal Gear Solid 5 and Peace Walker and that sort of thing. The fact that they're fighting on like a giant vehicle, kind of like how Liquid and Solid fight each other on top of the Metal Gear. Him fucking knocking her off of the top, kind of like how Solid Snake knocks Liquid Snake off of the Metal Gear. The fucking hanging off of the edge, which is like a mechanic that they introduced in Metal Gear Solid 2, where like you can hang off the edge and like move and that sort of, I don't know. Just a lot of elements in that scene gave me Metal Gear Solid vibes, and I'm wondering if anyone else felt the same.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's true. I mean, we already know like Owen Dennis like does play video games a lot. He even mentioned like basically playing Last of Us and being like, "Oh yeah, that's Tulip's voice." That's what I
Right,
mean.
that's right, Ellie. Yeah, she's the same voice actor. Yeah, or like at least like some people that worked on the show must have been influenced in some way that they kind of tailored that scene because
if Owen came out and said, "Yeah, it's exactly a Metal Gear homage," it would not surprise me.
I'm gonna definitely whenever he comes back to social media, I do want to shoot him a question and ask if any of that, because it could be just purely coincidental, but there was just so many individual elements there that reminded me of Metal Gear that I was like, this is really fucking Metal Gear.
I honestly thought for a second when you were talking about Liquid Snake, I thought you were actually going to mention because to me it reminded me a little bit of Revolver Ocelot. Not necessarily like with the mustache, but like with the cape and like, of course, the fighting skills.
Well,
Well,
and then you did consider in Metal Gear Solid 2 that the Liquid Snake does possess Revolver Ocelot through his arm.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a relation there.
Metal Gear's fucking weird.
Metal Gear is fucking weird, and I love it. I'm a big Metal Gear fan.
I love it. It's great. It's batshit insane, and I love it.
Yeah.
I'll find some way to talk about Metal Gear on this podcast sometime. I'm
figure
sure there's some fucking visual novels, or maybe we could just talk about the fucking cutscenes or something. We're gonna cover it one day.
I mean, 4 is basically a movie, right?
Essentially, well, they fucking cut Metal Gear Solid 3 into an actual movie, so I guess that technically counts as machinima, which is an animation. I'm sure we can cover that.
Sure.
We'll talk about it later. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to Infinity Train.
But yeah, this I don't know. This season was good, kind of weird. Just like a lot of, I don't know. The show is just like I watched this show. I binged this entire season today. This kind of show is one of those things where I have to like think on it for a week of like, okay, what did I just watch? How do I feel about this? Like, how does this all make sense? It's just one of those kind of shows, man. It makes you think a little bit.
which is good.
No,
Well-
it's very good. I definitely think this is a very well constructed show. I think it's got an incredibly original premise, and just like the way they handle characters, man. I mean, it's really good writing. I dig it.
Yeah, no, same here. I really do hope that they continue with this show. I really hope that they fucking renew this show and that they renew Glitch Test, because there's some of the most like they're just really just like in completely different ways. They're just really great breaths of fresh air like for cartoons right now, and that's definitely what we need. And
Yeah.
just go, Nick and Cartoon Network, get your heads out of your asses and renew both of those shows.
I don't think insulting the network is going to get them renewed.
Well, if I insult them more, maybe.
I was going to say I agree with your sentiment. So is there anything else you guys?
Just a couple of stray thoughts. This is the first season where 1-1 does not make an appearance.
They do
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about 1-1, but yeah, we never actually catch a glimpse of them.
They
I
talk
miss that
about
little
him.
guy.
Yeah, you don't see him, and they even offhandedly mention when Amelia's talking to them, she's like, 1-1 doesn't even know you guys exist. Like, he has no idea what the Apex is. Like, all of this is for nothing.
Yeah,
But,
that whole like Amelia revealing that everything the Apex thinks is a lie was like damn, I feel for those kids. Like your entire worldview has just been shattered.
But like even in the 9th episode where Simon ends up trapping Grayson inside her own memory tape.
Oh my god, what a fucked up thing to do.
Bro,
He's significantly trying to alter some of her memories. Like when she first met the conductor, like he has this like big grand vision of this like humongous machine towering over everything with like black smoke seeping out.
Yeah, because that's how he always believed it was, and then fucking Grace like actually remembers how it was, and it was just like that's the big head with like the shitty cape covering it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though, because that's how Grace told Simon about it at first. That's how she described it at first, which is why Simon believed that.
yeah.
But like, I think that was definitely the moment after like he trapped her inside that I'm like, oh yeah, he is past the point. He is not getting redeemed. There is no happy ending for Simon here.
And you know what? That's fine. I'm gonna bring it up again. This ain't Steven Universe. Not every character needs to be redeemed. Sometimes you need to just get fucking melted down to a skeleton and then blow and then fucking have a cockroach blow up.
The world has to have its shit heels, man.
Yeah.
Just a couple like two more stray thoughts. The color clock car, I think this might have been my favorite car.
Right. Like, that's JD, you meant to bring that what
Yeah.
favorite cars were.
That's actually probably the most interesting that I saw, because it was like a cooperative puzzle where like things would like phase in and out, and sort of the coming to the realization that since Tuba was colorblind, she was in like different areas than they were.
It gave me like big fucking like I could absolutely see that entire area being like a level in a Mario game.
Yeah.
Like just seeing like the stuff phase in and out, but like it's still technically being there. Like you can interact with it, but you just can't see it. Type of thing.
That might have been a galaxy some way.
Potentially, I can't remember Galaxy that well, but yeah.
I like Roy. He's our boy.
Yeah. Did Roy remind either of you guys of the fucking clock from Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared?
Oh no, that's exactly what I got.
Yeah, it definitely.
Definitely got that vibe to him.
But literally, a clock with arms and legs now reminds me of that. So I don't know if that's Infinity Train's fault.
I feel like I think my favorite train car was the campfire car. Like, and that's not just because it's the episode of the funeral in it, but just because it had really like fun visuals of like all the typical like camping equipment and fauna and stuff just being denizens in this car, where like you have like the pine cone like ranger leader like talking to like telling ghost stories to like the little pine cones, or you have like the two rocks that were arguing and then like they make up and they start making out, or you got the fucking like big lantern that's like cracking jokes on the trail, that sort of thing. Like I thought it was very fun.
That's funny.
And it provided a nice juxtaposition to the funeral scene that was in that episode.
Yeah. Then, like I said, even though every other car is way more inventive than the Hey Ho Rock car,
The Hey Ho Wo car.
just the fact that when they get it, like I fucking, it just like got me in like some weird, like deep way. It's just like when they walk in, there's these little rock guys falling from the season and they're going, hey, whoa. And it just does that for the entire episode. It just kills me.
Oh,
Hey there. I fucking love them.
no, it was really good.
It's just like all of these other cars are like so fantastical, and this one is just like, we need to let these weird rock guys fall from the ceiling until they fill up the hole in the middle of the room. And they just go, hey.
Adam, what was your last stray thought?
My last stray thought is I think this is the first time we see a train car repeat, actually, because the Canyon of the Golden Winged Snakes car appears very briefly at the beginning of book 2.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, it's very briefly when Lake is going through all the cars at the beginning.
Well, I mean, we also saw the unfinished car at the very beginning of this season.
You're right. They actually
do
go back to a lot more of the older cars.
Yeah, and not to mention like, you know, the return of other characters, and not necessarily like, you know, characters like Amelia and the cat that are more integral to the plot, but you know, fucking like like we see Randall, who is all of the fucking water in the car with all the snow in it. And that was a really funny gag where they had to like boil him in the pot to turn him into a cloud vapor so he could tell the rest of the Randalls to stop doing the blizzard.
Yeah, they just wanted to get in on a snowball fight.
Yeah,
fun.
Fucking Randall, man.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So there you go, guys. Go watch Infinity Train. It's a good show, man.
Go watch Infinity Train as soon as you can. They need those fucking viewership numbers to come up.
It's just weird that we live in that kind of a world where like we need your stream views to, you know, make sure our show survives another year. But unfortunately, that's the world we live in. So go watch Infinity Train. Go get HBO Max. It's shaping up to be I might have to get HBO Max at some point.
Yeah, but by the time this episode airs, they'll have added like a ton more stuff on there.
Yeah, they're working on sucking all of DC Universe's content out. But that's a discussion for another day. But yeah, go watch this show. It's good. And you know, let us know what your guys's how you guys are feeling about the show. Like, if you got any theories about what's going on, you know, let us know in the YouTube comments of this show, or you know, hit us up on our Facebook and Twitter pages if you'd like. Yeah, or join our Discord. You can just come chat with us directly. You don't have to wait for me to like respond to messages. If you want to do any of that, all the links for it are in the episode description. And hey, make sure you're listening to this show on like pretty much every streaming platform out there, the Spotify's and whatnot.
Apple Music, or not Apple Music, on Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts.
And like
all
YouTube.
The podcast places. And if we're not on one of them, just tell me and I'll figure out how to put it on there. It's not hard. Yeah. Well, guys, thank you for being here and discussing this nutty show. And everyone out there, thank you for listening. So stay safe, and we will catch you all again next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the show. Join our Discord to chat with us. Links are in the description. We'll see you next time.